Terrific. You mentioned barrels, so it does actually see barrels and not staves or chips.
No, 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 it's barrels.
Right, interesting. Is that
Barrels.
older barrels for the most part?
No, often we use new oak, but
Oh, okay.
in a not too long time, and
Right.
it's about 6 months. And in fact, it's good for us because today in Burgundy we use less and less new oak
Yes, yes,
compared
yes.
with 20 years ago, because the new generations we like to show more the fruit
Yes.
character, the origin, and we want to avoid too much flavors coming from the wood, so the roasted flavors, vanilla, that kind of flavors. We want to keep the purity of the fruit, uh, and therefore it's very nice because I will say with Les Cotilles, somewhere we clean the first new oak.
You bash the
Uh,
barrels up with with
yes,
that wine. Yes,
and
yeah.
and and because we do a nice production of Les Cotilles, so just a minority goes in barrels, but it's new oak. And when we blend the final cuvee,
Right.
we have a very nice balanced, but very small, discrete touch of oak. And it is exactly what we want to get, you know.
Interesting. I should have picked up on that, but that's good to know. Excellent, excellent. Um, I didn't mention this before. We were talking about the different challenges of making wine in Burgundy, but now I'm talking about the whole of France. How has global heating impacted the way that you harvest your fruit and make your wines?
Yeah. It's a bit, it's a bit more complicated than 10 years ago. Even if I remember my grandfather told me that they had during his time sometimes very warm season, very warm weather. So it was kind of cycles. But in the past, I would say it was cycles of one every 10 years or 15 years.
Yes, yes, of
And
course.
now cycles are reducing. So
Hmm.
it's more one every 3 years, sometimes 2 consecutive years. So it's quite challenging for us. And what we do is that we start to pick the grapes very early in the morning in order to stop uh, before the sun is too hot in the sky, which is not good for people, for the end pickers, and which is also bad for the grapes that you cut because it's too warm. So we start very early when we start to when the sun is coming. So we do that, and we work more on the temperature control at the winery to maintain the grapes in a very cool atmosphere. Very important. And for example, we also let more leaves than in the past during
Yes,
the summer to protect the ray of sun
of course.
uh,
Yes.
arriving directly on the grapes, which is very bad. So we work a lot on that, and we harvest earlier than in the past. So it depends. It depends on the vintage. But I would say for now it's fine because Burgundy, if you take Burgundy on a map in France, uh, we are not very at the south, so we are more on the central east part of France. So it's still okay for us, uh, even if we have some vintages very hard to manage, but it's fine for now. So, but we are quite anxious about that. So we follow how is the situation in Spain, for example,
Hmm.
how is the situation in south of France, because we know that not us, we will be together dead for a long time already, but for the next
Next
generations,
generations. Yeah, yeah, I
for
understand.
future,
Yeah.
uh, yes, maybe it's not for now, but maybe in 100 years or 200, I
Right.
don't know.
Yeah.
maybe it will be very hard to have vineyard in Burgundy, and maybe no more vineyard in I don't know. I
Yes.
don't know.
Yeah.
It's very hard to say. Very
Another
hard.
thing I'd like to ask you about before, in closing, and we're reading a lot right now about there being such a wine surplus in France, across Europe, actually. I know that doesn't impact you as much in Burgundy because you're such a small region and demand is so high. But do you see that when you're sourcing grapes in Languedoc?
Yeah, yeah. So what I see is that I have many friends in many French regions, Rhône Valley, Bordeaux, south of France, Spain, Sancerre, Vouvray, etc. And for many of them, it's quite challenging now
Yeah.
regarding the stock they have and the sales. We can see the sales now are reducing
Yes, yes.
because we have an explosion after the COVID for all industries, for the wine, for everything. It has been a beautiful years. But Burgundy, as I told you, we are a bit in a bubble. So we are
Mhm.
very lucky. We are very, very lucky. We are a bit protected, but we have to take care about how we manage our offer. I mean, how we manage the price we propose, because there is always a limit, you know, in everything. And we can feel that the market everywhere in US, in Japan, Australia, UK, everywhere, they start to, so the consumption is starting to decrease a bit. Of course, in Burgundy, we are less affected about that compared with maybe, I don't know, Rhone Valley or somewhere else. Not yet, but it will happen for Burgundy as well. And now we had this year very good harvest in 2022 last year.
Mhm.
So I think we have to be very smart, Burgundy people, with what we will do on the market. But we with humility, I can say that we are very close with the markets we work with. We know our importers. We know a lot of people in many countries. So we see when it start to become complicated,
Yes.
and and we it's not only us. I mean, it's all Burgundy producers. We I think we anticipate now. We are anticipating quite well the situation, and we are coming back on the market with very good values, very good offer, just to keep Burgundy connected with consumers, you know, with wine lovers. So at this stage, at this stage, everything is going very well. But next year will be a bit challenging for us, but not dramatic. But we have to be prudent for sure.
Well, Sebastian, thank you for giving us such a personal insight into your family's house, the Negos business, and of course, Burgundy as a whole. Really appreciate your time at Good Food Revolution. Hopefully, we'll have a chance to have a glass of your wine over here in Ontario, or perhaps I'll be over in France sometime soon.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. It's always nice to talk with people from Ontario. I will come in Ontario next year, so maybe we will meet face to face together and share a good glass of wine.
I did really enjoy that. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank
Bye for
you.
now.
Thank you. Bye bye.